Really pleased. The work that's put in by the junior coaches at Curzon, right from the under 7s all the way up to the under 18s. The under 18s are sort of like the flagship of the junior section. That we work hard, all the coaches here, all the volunteers, to try and produce a team that competes in the North West Youth Alliance Premier League every year. I've managed it for 5 years, and we've been competitive all 5 years. We've managed to do this for the second time with an outstanding group of players. They've been fantastic all season. To win against the likes of Altrincham and Chester, Fylde in the league, who are all have full-time players who are on their scholarship programmes, is fantastic achievement. And like I say, it's not a one-off. It's not just a cup. It was over a full season. They've been outstanding.
So you won the league on Sunday against Chester. You actually came from behind 3 times in that fixture. Does that show the resilience of the squad?
Yeah, I mean, when it came to the end of the season, you look at the games. We had the 3 cup finals to look forward to, and the league game on Sunday against Chester became a cup final because whoever won that game would win the league. And the other 2 cup finals were against Chester. So in the last month we played them 4 times. They actually beat us in the league here 3-2. We were very nervous on the night, made errors early doors and scored 2 own goals, believe it or not. But even in that game we got it back to 2-2. They got a late winner. But the cup finals, we showed a learning mentality where we didn't make their mistakes. We outworked them. Chester's way of playing in the youth section is they're very direct. They work on set pieces, and they usually have lads who are very aggressive in your penalty area, and we dealt with that. We're more of a footballing team. We like to play it on the floor. Sometimes a little bit too much. It becomes very difficult. I've called them Arsenal at times, where they want to walk the ball in the net.
Yeah.
But what we have had, we've had a number of leaders within the group. So when the going gets tough in certain games, we have found a way to get over the line and win all 4 cups.
So you talk about leaders in the side. Are there any potential superstars that could potentially force a way into the first team next season?
Well, 4 or 5 of them have trained with the first team all season. We obviously had Luke Morell play a number of games. He won the Players' Player of the Season and the Manager's Player of the Season for his outstanding performances throughout the season for the youth team and breaking through into the first team. We've also had a number of others. Adam Muir made appearances, Louis Corey made appearances, Mark McCoy, the goalkeeper, was on the bench several times as Cameron's understudy. So there is 4 or 5 of them who certainly have the potential to make our first team, and then who knows, the whole point of the youth team and the process of the 2 years in the Youth Alliance, first year under 17s, second year in the Premier League under 18s, is that they get an understanding of what it takes to become a player at this level, and the standards we're putting into them, we try to gave them an idea of what it's like at professional level, because we do put big demands on them. The games are on a Sunday, so the sacrifice of not going out with the mates on Saturday nights and doing the right things at the right time to be able to compete with the likes of the teams we're playing against is key. So out of that team, there's potentially 7 or 8 who could go on and have good footballing careers at this level. And you never know what will happen if they continue to develop and improve and show the right things and work into our team, and hopefully that happens and they gain interest like other players have last season, Oliver Crankshaw and Joel Senior.
So what would you say the main differences are between under 18s level and first team level? Is it physicality?
Yeah, I mean, I always say to the players right at the start of the season that this is basically your last year of playing against your own age group. Once you come out of under 18s, it becomes open age, and then the physicality, the experience of the players you're playing against totally changes. Not all of them out of our squad are going to get the opportunity to join the first team here, but what we will do with them is support them and going to one of our clubs that we link with, so that they can gain first team experience, like the likes of Ryan Shenton last year, that we sent him out to Chadderton for a couple of years and he progressed, and we brought him back, and you know, once they play for Curzon, we'll try and support them wherever they go, and we'll keep an eye on them, and if they're doing the right things that we've put into them, then we'll bring them back.
So looking at first team matters, you've had a few departures, key departures that is, over the past week or so. John O'Hunt, Chris Rowney, Ryan Brook. Can you tell us how big a hole they're going to leave in the side?
Well, them three in particular have been here a long time. They've played a lot of games for the club. They've been fantastic for the club. We didn't want to lose them. You know, I spoke to all three of them and offered them the deals that we could put to them. They felt they were offered better deals elsewhere. They felt it was the time to go out and experience, you know, football somewhere else. All I said was that I wish them well. I respect the decisions. No football club is built on a player. You know, the football club carries on. I'm working really hard in the recruitment side of it for us to be competitive next season, for us to improve. So, you know, we wish them three well. We'll be keeping an eye on the results. We're keeping in contact with them, because they are, you know, legends of the club basically. But the club has to move on, and we'll move forward and make sure that we're prepared for next season.
So in terms of player news, have you signed anyone recently? Can you let us know about that?
Well, not at the moment. Obviously, the club do it through their social media. They make the signings. So there's several people I'm speaking to. You know, like I say, we'll be basing it on a squad of 18 to 20 players who will come from various places. Some who was with us last year, and like I say, come the first game of the season, we'll be fully prepared and ready to go.
Just finally, how difficult is it to assemble a squad, especially in Tameside when you've got 6 other teams competing? Does that make it even more difficult?
Well, this time of the year is really difficult. It's obviously my first year of experience in it, but I had listened to John Flanagan previously, how frustrated and how difficult it was for him, and Gary Lowe before him. So I knew it was difficult. It's not difficult for clubs who have the money to offer what players want, but for clubs like us who are more on the development side of football, who, you know, are trying to sell the club to people and say, we haven't got the biggest budget in the world, but we will develop you as a player, we'll develop you as a person, you'll get more opportunity to play here than possibly other places, where if it's not going well for them, they just spend some more money and bring other people in. We have to work with the players, we have to improve them, we have to get the best out of them, and if that means that eventually they move on to bigger and better things, we'll feel that our job's been done, and that also other players will recognise that fact, and they'll want to come here to play at this brilliant stadium.